All right, welcome in everybody. Throw this up while you're watching the Europa League matches right now. AJ, it's looking pretty good for you. They might not choke this time in the semis, but Joey B and I might be getting a little distracted, might be getting a little sweaty for this final 6 to 8 minutes as we sweat out this Villarreal bet. So definitely want to watch into this live to see if something happens. You might catch a good reaction, but it is Thursday afternoon. So that means it is Line Breakers FC, brought to you by thebreakdownsports.com, brought to you by AJ, Joey B, and myself, Rex. AJ, you got a funky-ass shirt going on. What's up, man?
Funky shirt. You're the one to be speaking about funky shirts here. But I'm doing great. United up 5-2, so hopefully won't be choking this semifinal. We'll have to see next week. Joey B, how are you feeling today?
It'll just make that crash that much more painful. But I'm doing pretty well. You guys talked me off of Man United over 1.5 coming back to bite me, but we all agreed, so I should just immediately turn that around. But doing well otherwise.
Yeah, that one looks dead in the water, and it wasn't even team total under 4.5. Yeah, that one got spoiled real quick. But let's get into the matches coming up this weekend. Then we'll get into our best bets as usual. I don't know, AJ, you got a gold and white Inter type of shirt going on, so that's why I said it's funky. I like it, but I'd never said mine wasn't funky. It's just fresh. So Premier League, always where we started off at. This table basically looks, I don't want to say locked up, but we are only going to see movement in the Europa League spots potentially because there's no relegation battle. Sadly, if some team wants to make some noise, please, we're always here for a relegation battle. But with the 6-point difference, kind of looks dead in the water at this point. Then West Ham, they're going to try to make noise at Chelsea, but once you just drop a 1-0 thing at home, pretty tough to try to say you're going to get back in that spot, but they're no by means out of it. The best way to get into it, overarching question, who's going to drop points of the 4 teams fighting for the 3 Europa League spots? We got West Ham versus Burnley, Poole versus United, Tottenham versus Sheffield, and Everton versus Villa. Joey B, of those 4 matches, who's getting a draw or who's dropping points?
The easy pick there is Liverpool against United. Even with the Europa midweek game, it's still a tough battle. And then second, man, Tottenham is. I know they're going up against Sheffield, but I wouldn't bet Tottenham money line on with any dollar, any amount of anything I had.
What about your ex-girlfriend's money? Would you use that?
No, not even that.
So your official pick is Poole?
Sure, yeah, I'll take it. Easy one.
We got you guys with winners on the official under 2.5 prop bet that I gave out last week, so we got to keep it rolling. AJ, what squad of this is getting a draw, dropping points?
Yeah, I'm going in a different direction. I'm going with Everton. I do think Villa still waste some points this weekend from them.
All right. And I'm going to sit this one out because that's the way we're going to roll. So with United versus Liverpool, we kind of preluded to it where Joey B, you think they're most likely to. They're plus 150, slight favorites on the road, giving no respect to Old Trafford at plus 184 for United. But the Thursday to Sunday match is pretty hard. If they made it 5-2 a little bit earlier, they really haven't pulled that many guys off yet. They got some off, but still, that extra match I definitely think has an effect into it. The over 2.5 is slightly juiced or decently juiced here. I just think this one, it's tough to say we're going to see more goals after United went 5-2, but I think this one I would be leaning if I had to play it on the over just because Roma doesn't really press, but Liverpool's press, I think, does catch United once. So that both teams to score, that's going to be juicy. So that would be the easy bet of the game. But I definitely think we see 3 here. So the over 2.5 would be a bet if I had to play it. But this is just a match at 11:30. You're going to be watching it because it's the top 6.
Yeah, for me, I'm on the complete other side. I actually lean the under 2.5. I was pretty close to locking that in for an official play, but I'm not going to lay any juice on it. I think it does go to plus money as we get closer to the actual match, especially with 7 goals this weekend or this week midweek for United.
How the hell do you go from loving a United over, cashing a United over, and be like, you know what? I don't like the over again. I mean, it's probably a smart way of betting where you don't have that short-term memory, but it's just funny to hear on Monday you were loving this over, and now you're loving the under. Under J is back.
Back and better, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a strong opinion. It's going to be a tight game. Two top 6 teams in quotes always lead to under so far, but both teams' scores are like minus 160. So too much juice to lay on that, but I think we could see a 1-1, maybe a 2-1 game. I don't think it's going to be too many goals or too thrilling.
Yeah, that's why when you saw this one at a pick, that's where it's tough because I love when I get the top 6 in a match like this where you can get a money line outright because I just don't think this ends in a draw. So that's kind of where you could almost talk me onto any side. Ooh, there's another one, Joey. That's 8. Remember when we said it wasn't going to be under 4.5?
No chance gets a 5.
But yeah, this is where I don't know. I would have to lean the Liverpool plus 150 here. United's going to be feeling too hot. If they only scored 5, they would have been the play. But no, I'm just messing. Liverpool would be the side I lean. Last weekend I played the teams or faded the teams that had the action this week. It worked out well. So that's where I just think at plus 150, if you go with that strategy again, always like getting those at plus money. Pick easy, safe way. All right, so the Black County Derby. We got to talk about this one. So Joey B, we got Wolves at plus 161. The disrespect, even though they're on the road. You got West Brom at plus 175. The total sitting at 2.25. You knew it was going to be that. I'm surprised it's just not the flat 2. Joey B, how are you feeling for this match? What are you thinking?
I mean, they just got blasted by Burnley, so I mean, it couldn't be much worse than like what just happened. But I mean, what a perfect game to bounce back and show. Like, obviously they're no man's land, but obviously the English Wolverhampton fans obviously don't want to go in and get embarrassed left and right, especially to West Brom. So what a perfect game to bounce back. I actually have a kind of a play on this game. I didn't see a lot I liked and saw some stuff on 2 Monday games that I liked and kind of threw it together, but we'll get into that. But yeah, I think Wolves value plus 160, pretty good number on a money line, but always afraid of the draw. So yeah, I think just great bounce back spot, but just we'll hope to see a more emphatic team or more I don't know how to say a team that actually cares and gives a shit about their results instead of just kind of coasting to the end of the season.
Sorry, my Roma buddy is texting me right now, and it's just like 8 messages in a row because he was feeling himself after that 2-1. But Wolves at plus 161. There's not going to be a derby next season. This is where it could be a little bit of the pure fandom in me, but I want to put some money on that plus 161 because there's only going to be so many more few chances to fade West Brom. That was the LBFC approach. It did work out in the positive for us this season, so that's where it is a Monday game. So there could be a potential tweet from my account on this one, seeing how the weekend goes. But goals-wise, I mean, I would almost – the other angle I'd take is the West Brom team total under, just because the Wolves defense, it's that good. I just don't think West Brom's going to bring it. They're relegated. Not much to it for the rest of the season. They might pack up shop. And that's where locking in picks now, I guess, before going into the weekend is a little bit more dangerous because these teams that are fully relegated or teams that are just mid-table, nothing can happen to them. Lineups could play a crucial factor, so you could see some big line swings. So do take that into account when you're locking in early. Big save for Villarreal. Phew.
Yeah, I mean, to say their defense is good, I think most of the season hasn't been up to snuff. I think they give up 4 goals to Burnley last game, but hard to call that a good defense.
Look at West Brom. We should have knew it.
West Brom would be a good team to bounce back against. I know I keep saying it. AJ, you got any opinions besides maybe sleeping through it?
Yeah, this under 2.5 so juiced, just so bait. I might just stick some Taco Bell money on an over and just hope for some goals. That's all I got for you guys.
I mean, I think the first matchup was 3-2. So, I mean, not that means anything, but there were goals in the past.
All right, let's brush on Serie A real quick because I do have a play in one of these matches we're going to talk about. But fellas, the reign could officially come to an end this weekend in Serie A. If Inter beat Crotone, minus 405 favorites, minus 2 on the Asian handicap. And if Sassuolo tie or beat Atalanta, the Scudetto's going to Milan. I don't have a passport, but I might just get myself on the plane because getting stuck and getting trapped in Italy sounds like a dream, a heaven to me where I don't have to come back. So it sounds like a good time. See, put it over on there how long I last, but it could finally happen. Not much more I want to talk about it because I haven't put it out into the Twitter sphere yet or the world. Not many people are talking about it, so I want to keep it on the wraps. So one game is Saturday, one is Sunday, so you will have to wait for both of those. Joey B, we cashed?
Yeah.
We cashed?
Yeah.
We cashed.
Yeah. Let's go. Game's over. It's a nice, another positive weekend or week, midweek, I guess. I had to turn it off. It was messing with my internet connection. So
thoughts on Inter clinching?
I hope they do it sooner than later. Don't want to drag this on any longer, but there's a good race or good race heating up for the Champions League spot in Serie A. Juventus will be fighting. Atalanta should be in the mix. So some of that to follow, I think, the next couple weeks.
All right. So the two best title races where Linebreakers FC with the Premier League and Serie A basically wrapped up, along with the Bundesliga. We're going to start focusing our attention on La Liga and Ligue 1. We're finally going to suck it up, get these channels on because this is where you're going to get some top-class soccer coming up because La Liga, huge result today where Barcelona laid an egg against Granada, but Joey V has been talking up Granada for a long time, so I wasn't too shocked by that result. But that shifted the odds greatly. Joey B, La Liga expert. It's all you.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw a tweet today. It was the first time Granada's ever won in Barcelona. So that's pretty wild. What a huge time to pick up that win. But yeah, if we had given out the odds on Monday during our stream, they would have been drastically different. But currently, Barcelona is the favorite still. It's slight favorites in at plus 125. I actually think they're currently third in the table too. Yes, and they're tied on points with Real Madrid and then 2 points behind Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid second favorite at plus 150, Real Madrid's plus 400, and then Sevilla's plus 1400. There's basically going to be two games that are going to determine this title. Real Madrid played Barcelona on the 8th, and then Atletico Madrid played Barcelona on the 8th, and then Real Madrid plays Sevilla on the 9th. So two matchups with those two top 4 teams will have obviously huge implications on who wins the title, but I think Barcelona has the easiest schedule along with Madrid. Real Madrid does have a tough schedule there. So I think the odds are kind of spot on. Sevilla maybe you already lost some value from Monday, but maybe put some fun money on them just to root for absolute chaos. But I mean, Real Madrid sitting at plus 400 being tied on points with Barcelona. A little fishy, odd to me, I think, but I guess that just speaks to the opponents that Real Madrid have coming up.
So, question for you, Joey B. So, if you gut feeling, who do you think takes this?
I don't know. I mean, I was saying in January, December, even in February time, I thought this was Madrid's title locked up, already secured. But they do. I mean, they play Barcelona. I want to say, if Madrid can get out of that without a loss, I would bank on them winning the title, I think. But part of me is rooting for the true goat and Messi to pull off the title here. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. I really you could convince me of the two favorites either way, to be honest. But it really just comes down to that game on May 8th.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I would just have to. With anything with this, I would just have to lean Madrid at the plus 400, where essentially, yes, Atletico holds a little bit of an advantage, so you could definitely convince me into the plus 150, but that plus 400 where, I mean, Barcelona, yeah, it happens. You drop a match, but I would rather get the highest price on 3 teams that I honestly think it's an even chance with. You said four matches or 5 matches remaining?
5.
Yeah, so yeah, plus 400 with 5 matches remaining. It could be dead real quick, or it could age well and you could hedge yourself out down the line.
Yeah, I think also Real Madrid obviously still has Champions League, another semifinal match, but their schedule is Osasuna, Sevilla, Granada, Athletic Club, and then Villarreal. So pretty tough there. Whereas Barcelona, I can go through this real quick. They just have Valencia, Atletico Madrid, Levante, Celta Vigo, and Eibar. So they end the season with 3 not easy wins, but 3 easier wins. I don't know how else to put it.
And that's where you see it directly reflected in that price. All right, Ligue 1, France. We got Lille. Oh, man. Did you guys see Tim Weah's video of him reacting? It was on his Instagram story to the late winner that they had the past weekend. Oh, he was going fucking wild when Lille pulled off that late winner to keep the league and Ligue 1. I don't care what the prices is. I'm 100% invested not invested emotionally into Lille pulling this off, just because if Juve's going down, let's see PSG go down in the same year. Way is on Lille, so it makes it easy to root for. Jonathan David's a Canadian player that's also great to root for. So that's where I'm going to be devastated if Lille drop this. That's all I have to say about it. Joey B?
Yeah, I don't have too many comments or too much to say about this either. But Lille is the underdog of plus 145. PSG's minus 155. Those are kind of only 2 within range. Monaco and Lyon are both. Monaco is over 1,000 and Lyon's around 7,000, maybe even more, depending on what you see. So it's really a two horse race here. But Lille does have the they control their own destiny. If they win out, they win the title. But they got 4 games. I think they're 4. None of them are in the relegation zone, I don't think. So 4 semi-challenging games. I'll be rooting for them. Always want to root for the non-oil-rich teams who win their domestic leagues decades in a row.
Yeah, and it's good to see Monaco back in contention after being there a little bit recently. But, man, I just loaded up my book. I can get them at plus 175 right now, and that's still just not enough for me to put any change behind it because, one, if I can get Real Madrid at the same price to pull off the league, even though it's a 2-point difference essentially in this scenario, it's still at plus 175. I mean, you could parlay the 4 money lines, you could parlay the 4 picks together and still probably get a much bigger payout. So I don't think there's any value in that. PSG, no value in that either. So just stay off it, sit back, put your feet up, and enjoy it if you do get a BEIN.
Yeah, quick question for you guys. So Madrid, PSG, both in the Champions League. Do you think that factors into their price, or how does that work?
It's potentially 1 extra match for both of them because they both look to be out if results hold. So that's kind of where you're getting a cheaper price on them because if they end up advancing, that plus 400 might rise up to a little bit higher because they'll have their eyes focused on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm not sure when the Champions League final is May 29th. And so the last game for PSG is May 23rd. So I think they've already kind of baked in the extra game they have to play, like why we see with the Real Madrid plus 400, because that 1 game, extra game will be a week after their season's over, I think, at least for the French league. So I think that's maybe not a huge concern, I don't think.
All right, time to talk about the top league, the MLS. We'll keep it short and sweet on this one because if you need any fantasy advice, hit me up on that. We're approaching the top 50. I'm hungry. Lineup will get locked tomorrow. But if there's one match to watch, if you want to get some later footy action in you, watch the Galaxy versus Sounders. It's lined at 3.25 or 3.5. If you want to go a little juicy, Sounders team total seems like the easiest bet in the world this weekend because I rode the Galaxy the first 2 weeks. I really want to ride them here again, but the Sounders, they seem to be the top class. This is kind of a game where I'm just going to enjoy the hell out of it and watch it till it's over. but this is where I'm not going to continue the Galaxy ride here. There's going to be a bunch of goals. Sit back and enjoy it. Let's see if Chicharito can get 6.
Yeah, and I think that game's Sunday night at 9 p.m. on the East Coast, so a perfect way to, I guess, keep running from the Sunday scaries and keep celebrating the weekend. I don't know, Nashville. Yeah.
No, I was about to say there'll be some cold ones cracked on that Sunday night, so Monday morning will be a little rough, but that's some primetime action for you. The last time we saw that, Glesnes hit the banger against LAFC from like 40 yards out. So let's see if Chicharito or someone can do what our center back can do.
I was going to say Nashville SC plays at 1 p.m. Eastern on that Sunday. So a good slate of games. I'll maybe tune in and root for my new favorite MLS team.
I convinced him. See, he has more dedication than you do, AJ, that he's watching his Nashville. I mean, they're producing a shit ton of shots, but they're just conceding a lot more where they had that rock defense, and it's looking a little weak right now. All right, best bets time. What you all come here for? We make you listen to us break down some matches until you get the locks of the weekend. So we'll recap our Champions League and Europa slate, how we just did. 1-0 for me, plus 1.50 units. Villarreal came through in the clutch, fading Arsenal back-to-back at plus money, came in. Don't think we're going to do it with Newcastle this weekend, but another plus 1.5 units in the bank.
Perfect. Yeah, I ended up actually tailing both of these guys with the Villarreal, so thank you for that, gentlemen. 1-0 this week. United, Roma over 2.5 hit in the first half, so easy for that. Joey B.
One play only, both cashed.
I should have. I don't know. I guess who knows what my one play would have been? I guess I had a 33% chance of picking one play. No, I guess 66. I don't know. 33% chance of picking the loser there. But I went 2-1 plus 0.82 units. I think I did that math right in the top of my head.
Show.
But PSG, City both teams to score over 2.5. Man U and under 4.5 goals. That lost pretty immediately. And then Villarreal, draw no bet. I was never worried about the full loss, but worried about just getting the push. But they held on at the end.
So it didn't matter who you tailed this week. All three of us cashed. We got to celebrate that more often when all three of us end up in that plus money, regardless of how big it is, because you just play to win. That's all it is. All right, so I got 4 plays this weekend. AJ, looks like you got Dose, and Joey B, you have Dose as well. So I'll rattle off my 2 MLS plays first, and then I'll get into the other ones afterwards, then we'll rotate. So I tweeted this out on Saturday. Waited a little time to lock it in, but it didn't really affect the price that much. But there's 2 plays this weekend that you might not want to tail of my 4, and this is one of the 2 because this is where I'm going down with the ship on this one, where I faded Austin in the first 2. We're still plus money from it, only in the under a half unit, but Minnesota, they have looked pretty rough so far, and Austin has 9 straight road games to start the season. We're going to continue to ride that train of fading Austin, even though they put up 3 against the Rapids. Rapids backline was a little bit more affected than injured. They were injured, but I expected them to show up a little bit more, but they did not when you let the new club put 3 up on you. So Minnesota at home, minus 0.75 at plus 102. That is the first MLS play to continue the Austin fade. The second play is, man, Cincinnati is like when you compare, and Joey B, that's why when having Nashville as your club, like comparing that expansion success, even though it's been 1 season to the 3 or 1.25 for Cincinnati's 2.2 seasons, it's been pretty terrible. And we're taking the over 3 at plus 124. I couldn't take the Orlando team total because that's the way you want to go. Because, all right, I want you 2 to guess. Cincinnati's played 2 matches so far this season. How many shots have they allowed?
33.
Oh, I was going to go around there. 42.
Both cashed under by more than 10. They've allowed 53 shots on goal, or 53 shots through 2 matches. So we're
Okay.
taking the over 3 at plus 124. The Orlando team total might be the smarter way, but until I see Cincy do any bit of defense, you might just have to bet the team total overs or the overs in those matches when it's at 2.5 and 3, because maybe this week they only allow 12 or 13 shots, but I was not late to the. I was a little bit late to the action here, but yeah, just play the over in Cincy matches till we see any bit going forward.
Yeah, those are pretty good plays, good solid logic, and plus money on them. Joey B, any thoughts?
Yeah, great logic. Love fading the same team week after week. It's shown out to be fairly effective. You can find the trends. But yeah, I think also that if Cincinnati, I don't know. I think I like the over, especially sticking with this plus money plays. Turned out to be pretty worked well so far this year. I think maybe give me a couple more weeks to get my feet fully in, maybe up to my knees and thighs into the MLS before I start throwing out plays. But I think the Nashville. I didn't even look at the total, but I feel like overs are cashing in their game so far. I know the first two. Maybe not too much of a trend there, but over 2.5 at minus 118. If I were to give out an MLS play, that's what I would give. Maybe a money line. So I think they're again short minus 110. But that's just my fandom hoping they finally get a full W here.
Yeah, Inter Miami's look pretty tough. That's just kind of where, but they play a little back. But yeah, this is my match where I'm going to decide if Nashville were just a little, not frauds last season, but if their defense does actually have true issues this weekend. Is if they can't keep a clean sheet, or if they allow 2 goals again, then it's officially Joey B. Press the panic button, jump on the Union train, because we're the only club that could potentially win the CCL now, because all the other 3 MLS clubs not laid an egg, but they didn't pull out results that they needed.
I'm like barely 2 weeks into my fandom. I can't be pressing the panic button before I even fully immerse myself.
Perfect. Beautiful. That is enough MLS talk for you guys. For me, my first play, I'll stick on this plus money train. I am taking Tottenham Sheffield under 2.5. When we come back on the next stream, I will either look like a genius or an idiot. I just think Ryan Mason is just doing what Jose Mourinho did. I just see Tottenham, this being 1-0, 1-1 type of game. I don't think we see 3 goals.
So, question here. I know the under 2.5 is a much more available line. Why did you not go Sheffield team total under instead?
Because I really didn't think too deep into that. But just in my head, these weird games where you feel like one of the top 6 teams versus one of the bottom tier teams, the bottom teams just somehow just scrape a goal. And we've seen it with West Brom against like United, against Chelsea. So I'll take a full game under.
No, that's definitely, I would say definitely not the safer route, but the more logical and the better way to attack it. But that's just the way my logic attacks it, where if I'm so sold on Tottenham keeping a clean sheet here, that's where I would just try to get the other team's team total under.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think if it was anybody but Tottenham who can dominate defense, dominate games for 85 minutes, but always finds a way to get a 1-1 draw.
Ask Adam.
Yeah. Ask Adam, any Tottenham fan. So if he's playing the same way as Mourinho, that get ready for a late equalizer from them. For me, I actually have 2 plays. One's a chalky parlay, but the others, both of them are plus money. But I'll stick with my one in Serie A, taking Napoli Cagliari, going back to the Cagliari well, I guess in a way, but taking both teams to score over 2.5. It's plus 110. I think both teams to score here is a good price. I think it's minus 180. Not minus 180. It's like minus 120, minus 130. But I think add the 2.5 for a plus 110. I think Napoli should get 2 or 3 here, but I just think Cagliari's they're fighting for their lives just above the relegation zone. I think they're going to continue to fight. And then Napoli's also in a battle for the Champions League. So I think, again, neither team's going to be satisfied with a draw. I also just think Napoli's going to get 2, maybe 3 goals on them, and then Cagliari should get 1. And so I'll take that plus 110.
Do you know what Napoli's little chant is?
No, I do not.
Boom, boom, boom. It is the best. It is so much fun to do after they score, and just different stuff. Just go boom, boom, boom. But yeah, with you do love your island, and they're right now they have the goal differential advantage because they're tied on points with Benvenido, and Torino is a little bit above them. So I could definitely see an open match there where Napoli's overs have come in, but their defense have looked a little bit stronger where they kept a clean sheet against Sampdoria and a clean sheet against Torino, but they let Lazio and Inter get on the board there. So that's kind of where the more of the sides on the top of the table are getting in against them. So if you get, Napoli could easily put up all three of themselves here. So that's why I wouldn't be concerned. But Cagliari, if they get a goal, you should be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, the issue there is, I think Napoli team total over, I don't know what it's set at, maybe a good look here because Cagliari's offense is not the best. They're actually one of the worst away teams to the over 2.5. But I also think that hasn't fully adjusted to like their, not to say new style of play, but the intensity that they've brought the last couple weeks or so, I think, in terms of fighting for survival, especially as they face Napoli, who will bring their own intensity. So I just think it's a good price, good plus money for obviously always rooting for goals in these games.
Yes, sir. Fighting for their lives. All right, so I'm going to jump over to the Premier League here. This is the second of the two plays. So it's the Cincy Orlando over 3.5 or 3 was the one I'm confident in and not have any heart invested in it or just blind what Rex's logic is doing. We're going with the Leicester Southampton over because we need action on Friday. We need action on Saturday. We need action on Sunday. That's why Wolves is calling the name on Monday so we can keep going each day. But we got Leicester as the away favorites here. And sure, you can take trends a little bit into the consideration, but the last 4 times that Leicester has traveled to Southampton, all of them have gone over 2.5. So that's where the plus money mentality from MLS has bled over into Premier League because you can get this play at 2.5. I think it's like at minus 125, but I'm liking the plus money mentality right here, especially because soccer allows you to get it much easier with that 0.25. And we're just going to root for some goals here. Ings looks to be in the lineup. Barnes doesn't look to be playing for Leicester, but Leicester still has a little bit to play for, not much. So maybe not too many goals, but Southampton, that I'm not going to rely on that defense until they prove it. So that's where at plus 112 to over 2.75 for some Friday action. Let's get some sweat starting to work.
Yeah, when actually I was looking at matches, this was one that I liked the under. So I am having an opposing view. So we'll have to see on that one. Joey B, any thoughts?
Why do you like the under?
Like you said, each time Leicester have gone to Southampton, they've skied over. Both teams don't really have too much to play for here. And it's a Friday afternoon. I could just see it being a 1-1 draw.
Hungover from Thursday night drinking. I could see it.
Classic.
Yeah, I don't have too many thoughts. Just something I noticed. 7 of the 8 plays we will give out are all plus money. AJ's got one that's not, but just something I had. Rex's methodology is bleeding over to us. I think, AJ.
Yeah, not opposed to it.
It helps. It helps in the long run.
Yeah. With that being said, I will give my one not plus money play, but you can take it for plus money if you are feeling it. It is City Palace over 2.75. It's at minus 110. If you do want plus money, you could take an over 3. This one, obviously, City have the second leg of the Champions League. I think this is a game where Palace come in with some motivation, kind of want to get away with something here. So I could see them attacking a little bit. And obviously, City are just City, so I expect goals from them.
Palace snake. That's my hype on this. City will probably cover it by themselves.
Not bad.
Yeah, over 3 is plus 120. But yeah, this is the one place I don't like taking a plus money going from 2.7 to 2.75, 2.3. I don't really find that worth it because I'd rather get the half win than a full push, especially with like 10 cents of juice. It's really not the worst. For my second play, last play, 2 plays and 2 plays only from me. There's a Monday Torino Parma game. It's a good. I mean, Parma's basically already relegated. I think they're officially relegated. Not totally sure, but Torino's obviously again right neck and neck with Cagliari, fighting for their lives. I wanted to play. I think Torino over 1.5. Like just team total goals is like -200. I kind of like that, but not at the price, obviously. Another game I considered playing both teams to score an over 2.5. But once I saw Wolves also played West Brom, I thought I'd have a little piece of the action. I was going to pair this over 2.5 with the draw no bet, but once I saw the Wolves draw double chance was at -235, so taking that and the Torino Parma over 2 at -186, it gives me a +120 parlay. So I kind of like that angle. I don't think Wolves lose, and I think we get 3 goals. So there's my long-winded spiel of how I stumbled into this random ass parlay, but I think it's 2 good spots and some, like I said, pretty chalk, but it gets you a decent plus price.
Yeah, for only thing I have to say is I just hope West Brom doesn't come bite you in the ass and leave you with the parting gift of beating Wolves.
Yeah, they'd sweep the season and lose my bet for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't, especially since they're going down. Wolves can't not pull out results. That's where the draw double chance. You should be good. And I guess Parma might be the other team you've been addicted to betting on in Serie A, because those overs have been coming through in full, so it's not a bad angle.
I think I bet on the same 6 teams in Italy and the same 4 teams in Germany.
Back to the well.
Yeah, over and over and over and over and over again.
All right, so the last play, 100% motivation, heart, whatever you want to call it, behind it. Plus, we get a little bit of extra in it because if Atalanta do end up pulling out a 1-goal win and Inter don't end up clinching Serie A, I mean, in the past 11 years, I'm not going to bet on Inter potentially winning it. So I think next week they can do it with an outright win. So that's kind of where look for that to be probably on the card. But Sassuolo at +1 at +118. They've rattled off 4 straight wins. They're looking pretty hot. Their prior result to the 4 wins was a draw against Inter, so you can't knock them for that. So at +118 at the +1, you can get the +1.25 at like -110. We're just taking the +1 here, and let's go Sassuolo. Let's get the Scudetto this weekend, and yeah, the Sunday night MLS game we might be sleeping through if that happens.
The only thing I was going to mention, I know Inter is away, and it's a little different with no fans in the stands. But do you think there's any? Not that they're going to lose on purpose or maybe get a draw, but do you think they want to fully clinch the title next weekend? I don't even know if they have a home game. I assume they alternate, but assuming their next game is home, do you think there's any reason to want to win it at their home stadium?
Probably not, especially just because you don't want any chance to do it. And Atalanta second in the table is not even Juventus, so that's where if they pull out the result and you draw, you just make it a little bit more feisty down the end. Get it done sooner rather than later. We might be looking at Atalanta laying the egg just so the reign can end with Juventus, because all Serie A clubs just want to see anybody but Juventus at the top of the table. All right, let's rattle off our plays real quick, and then we'll sign off before we get to the NFL draft tonight, where I have way too much money invested in that. But we got Sassuolo at +1, +118. Southampton Leicester over 2.75 at +112. Minnesota -0.75 at +102. And then the Cincy Orlando over 3 at +124.
Perfect. I got 2 plays for you guys. Tottenham Sheffield under 2.5 sits at +115, and City Palace over 2.75 sits at -110.
Yeah, and I got Napoli and Cagliari, both teams to score an over 2.5 at +110, and then a parlay of Wolves draw double chance and the Torino Parma over 2.5, sitting right at +120.
All right, and thank you everyone who tuned in to our show this week. This is Line Breakers FC, brought to you by thebreakdownsports.com. You're probably following us on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, so give us a follow on the other outlets if you're not already following us there. And we'll see you guys, I don't know, maybe a Monday stream. We'll figure it out. We'll see you later.